Okay, we're just going to give folks a few minutes to join us, and then we'll get started.
Sure.
We'll just give it a few seconds. Sure, everybody's grabbing a cup of tea and maybe a sandwich.
It's lunch and learn, right? So
Absolutely.
can't happen without the food,
That's
with
right.
something to munch.
You cannot forget the lunch part. Okay. We'll get started as folks continue to join us. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for an informative hour ahead of us. I want to thank our series sponsor, the Job Gym. They've been a great partner to us over the years, over the decades, really, for all of our employment and training needs. I'd like to introduce Amanda Shannon from the Job Gym just to say a few words. Amanda?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Quick little selfish plug here for Job Gym. We offer Employment Ontario programming. So our focus is to help job seekers connect to employment. So if you or your business you know is hiring, I'd love to connect with you. We may have some candidates that are qualified who are registered with us that we'd be able to refer over. Alternatively, if you know someone looking for employment, we can help them. We offer one-to-one employment coaching and also facilitate the Better Jobs Ontario program, which helps displaced job seekers train for a new career. As we are provincially funded, our services are free to both job seekers and employers. So I can drop my contact information in the chat. If anybody would like to connect, please reach out. So that is Job Gym in a nutshell. I'd like to share a little bit about Joydeep, our featured speaker today. Joydeep is the head of global operations at Axzora Group. He started his career working for some of the US majors like AOL and later worked for Bank of America, TCS, JP Morgan Chase. He has over 24 years of experience in risk management, auditing, information security, and closely follows all emerging risks. His organization does software development and supports startups located specifically out of the Niagara Falls area. Joydeep is a postgraduate and alumni of U of T and holds about 8 professional certifications on risk management, information security, anti-money laundering, and quality management. I've had the pleasure of getting to know Joydeep and his business and his colleagues over the last year. He is a huge knowledge block and also a very talented trainer and facilitator. So I'm looking forward to today's session. So with that, I'm going to turn things back over to you, Dolores.
Great, thank you. What an impressive bio. Wow, that's fantastic. So just to let you know, the format for our session will be as follows. Joydeep will go through his presentation. You can submit your questions throughout his presentation through the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. We'll address all of the questions at the end of the presentation. So let's get to it. Joydeep, take it away.
Thank you so much. Dolores and Amanda, thank you so much for those wonderful words. I think I really feel most motivated now. Hello, everyone. I'm going to share my screen and please pardon my voice. It's shaky. My body is kind of going through some changes right now because of the temperature change, because of all the travels I've seen recently. For today, I've got about 6-7 slides, not a lot. I would just want to keep it very concentrated and discuss or talk more about issues that lingers around we see every day, but at times we just take it for granted. We just say that's how it's supposed to be, right? So before we get into talking about what 2024 is and 2026 brings in, let's talk about first what is risk first, okay, and what is risk management thereafter. So risk generally is basically anything that can impact you from meeting your objective. Say, for example, if you're starting to go to office this morning, okay, you plan that you want to head to office at 8 in the morning, and you get to office at, say, 9 o'clock. That's your normal routine. But there are hurdles along the way. There's bad traffic jam. Tim Hortons is jammed today because of a lot of people wanting to have fresh coffee. There is no, the gas is not filled up in your car. So these are some of the detractors that will impact you from getting to your destination. Now these are called risk. That means these are the levers or the issues that can impact you from meeting your objective of getting to office at 9 a.m. Now, what is risk management then? Risk management is things that you do to mitigate these identified risks, like coffee. Okay, you know there's a long queue outside today at the drive-through. You pull off. You say that I'm going to take the highway and get to office, and probably for today I'm going to have the office coffee itself. So then you are mitigating one risk. Second is the night before you check if you have enough gas so that you are not getting stuck somewhere. Poor traffic, you bring up your map, you take a look at the map and see that, okay, looks like things are good. There's no accidents reported. So looks like you are still on for 9 o'clock, getting to office. So these are some of the controls that we generally take even without thinking of risk management. Okay. Now, risk, as we all know, is generally associated with negatively. There's always a negative connotation to the term risk. It's a pity because the definition of risk is such that it's anything which is unexpected. Okay. Unexpected can be negative. Unexpected can also be positive. Right? Say, for example, if you're making an investment in shares, okay, there is a chance that the share market will fall down, you lose money. There's also a chance that the company does better and they report out better performance and your performance goes up, your share performance goes up, you make money. So there are risk, which is positive risk, there's negative risk as well. Okay, risk is kind of always looked at negative. That's not always negative. So people who say that it's a high risk area, well, high risk area also has a promise that it may give you more returns. Okay, high risk investment also may get you more returns. So these are benefits that each organization or individuals, we weigh it out before we making an investment into those. Now we spoke about risk mitigation. That is, you're getting the car checked. I mean, getting your fuel checked and getting having coffee in office instead of going to Tim Hortons. What are those? In risk terms, they're called as controls. Okay, like there's a fire alarm at your place. What is a fire alarm? Fire alarm is known as a control. Okay, a control, it goes off when it senses that there is a smoke around or there's a heat. Okay, that is a control, and that control is known as a detective control. There are three types of controls: preventive, detective, and corrective. Let's talk about each of these controls. Preventive control is, it prevents you from getting into a risky situation. Okay, now seatbelt that we wear is preventing you from getting injured in case of any kind of accident. That's a preventive control. Buying an insurance is a preventive control because it protects what is important for you. That means not your life, because in case I don't make it, the people who I leave behind, at least their future will be secured. They're financially secured, right? Those are preventive controls. Traffic signals, preventive control. Just imagine if there are no traffic signals around, there are no red lights, then what happens? Chaos, accidents, right? Delay, traffic jams. All of these will start happening. And there's a reason why people are asked that you follow their driving test, teaches you that you should follow the traffic signals, and the traffic signals are installed uniformly across the entire country so that anyone driving in any part of this country will know that red means stop. Okay, and if you have the pedestrians way on, then you got to let these guys go. Your pedestrians travel, walk, right? So those are your preventive controls. Detective controls, we just gave an example of fire alarm, right? It goes off only when it detects something is not right, okay? Like if there is a puncture, your car detects it and it tells you that there is a pressure low. That is a detective one. Corrective is like your antivirus. So the moment it detects that you have a virus in your system, in your computer, sorry, in your computer, it auto corrects it. You don't have to go and fix it yourself. You have set it up in such a way that the moment a virus is detected, your antivirus jumps into it, action, and it fixes the problem for you. So universally, you talk about any standard, any certification, or anywhere you go, these are the typical 3 types of controls implemented by any industry, be it a bank, be it an aerospace, or be it a news agency, or be it anywhere else. These are the 3 controls that are globally used. Now, risk, as we know, has become like so common that we just just before putting on the earplug, I would normally clean it up. That is, I'm just trying to clean this up because in case there is something else left there, it does not infect my ears. That is again a risk management. Now, risk has gone really out and out in the large. It's become really big. Here is one example of such risk and the way it was managed. Okay, slightly funny. So there is a company called Burger Singh, okay, which was hacked by some hackers in one country. Now they had to basically recover the business. So hack is become so common these days that, and Burger Singh did not want to show that it's really impacted them. They said that, you know what, we are prepared for this. It's okay. So they put up a post in their website saying that, you know what, hackers, good job and what you did. We are not losing sleep over your win. We are looking about cooking up new burgers for our clients. Okay, they put a humorous twist to it, and then they've kind of gone out to the customers. Customers didn't feel a thing about the way they managed it. They felt great because the response that they gave, the way they responded to the situation. So risk like this will be presented to you in various ways in a time situation when you're not prepared for it. How do you respond to situation depends on your preparedness as well. Okay, now talking about preparedness, going back into history, we talk about risk. Where did it all come back? Where did it all come from? I'm going to share my screen again. Look at this. This is a wiki one, just respecting the copyright of everyone else. Wikipedia is allowed, it's open for sharing information like this. I would encourage you to take a look at this. Why do you think somebody created something like Great Wall of China? Why? Why is it needed? It is just to protect their territory between China and Russia. They want to protect themselves from invaders. That a control. That is a preventive control itself. All right. Think about any castle. What do you have? You have those big walls. You got those big doors, right? And you got the space for archers to shoot those arrows in case there is an intruder or invader there, right? So what are those again? Those are the same concept. Risk has been there for ages, centuries, right? We're talking about, this was built when? About 1600 century, they built it, and they took them 300 years to get the entire thing done. It was worth for them because they're talking about protecting their people and resources. So that is called an appetite, the risk appetite. How much can I chew? How much can I accept before I go bankrupt? How much can I take before I can take no more? Okay. Now, so risk management has been there for generations. We talk about Titanic. Okay. Titanic, when they launched, when they were about to set sail, they had this perception that this is the biggest and the strongest ship ever built. Nothing could really possibly harm. And there is a statement made by the captain of the ship saying that I cannot imagine anything could harm Titanic. And guess what happened, right? There are a lot of root cause analysis done after that. But again, let's not get into that, what happened there. But risk management is something that should have been baked in while you are preparing the ship itself. Think of all the aspects that can impact you, right? So what we just did now is generally understand about risk, okay? Now current scene, take a look. Assume that you're going to your doctor for the first time, or you're going to the ER. When you sit for the triage, what questions do they ask you normally, and why? Question they ask you is, what's your coffee intake? What's the sugar intake? Do you take alcohol? Are you under any other medication? Do you have any history or allergies? Why are those questions asked? Again, it's all risk-based approach. They want to profile you first before they prescribe you any medication, because they know that these aspects like coffee, drinks, or this may not have a good impact on the medication, or may not allow the medication to work as designed, right? So that's where the risk management is in the current state. You do anything, there is a risk management approach. You walk into a branch, right? The teller there, we're going to ask you first, can you put the card in? Let me verify you first before you actually do any transaction. They will give you some generic information. Where's the ATM? There are 5 ATMs here and there. That's about it. But the moment you ask something sensitive, they will want to authenticate you, verify you, and then give out the information. So risk management has been included as by design, right? Anything that you do, risk management right there. You talk about a medication that you buy, that's got disclosures. It gives you all the caution and the warnings right there so that you know what you're doing. You are prepared for the repercussions or what may follow after that. So risk in 2024, what's there? What's in store for us in 2024? We are already about 3 months into it, right? These are my understanding of the situation right now, okay? As I see it, disruptions using AI. No one is hidden from it. No one is away from it. Everyone is into it. Either you will use AI to create a disruption, or somebody will be using AI on you as a customer to create the disruption. So no one is untouched, okay? Now AI has gone to an extent where if I'm looking for a client base in Niagara region, there are AI tools. I subscribe to that. It will go up to a radius of 20 kilometers and look for those businesses and give me those as a lead. I could send out emails to those leads and ask them, inquire about their requirements. If there are 5,000 of them, out of 5,000, if 10% returns also, it's a huge number for me, right? So AI has taken up that stage. Earlier, it used to be cold calling or just blind emails. Now it is more targeted, and AI will verify and give you those authenticated, verified email address as well, so that it's not like a spamming, general spamming. There would have been some inquiry made by me or you, and AI has kept the data with them, and basis your search, they give you the recommendation that please go ahead and send us emails, and probably these are the potential customers who may buy your service or product. Okay, so AI is here to stay and will disrupt a lot of things that's coming our way. You talk about designing a logo. You don't need a human being to do that. You just give the concept, and if you have some rough estimate, put that in this, upload this there. AI will give you a design of the logo. They'll create multiple versions of the same logo so that you can choose from it. Okay, you talk about content writing. ChatGPT has been there. ChatGPT can give you the best, some of the best content writing. You just have to ask the right kind of questions, probe it well, and it gives you the question, things out. Writing a cover letter. ChatGPT does it. LinkedIn has it already. AI-based cover letter system, so you could use it there as well. So in some portion or the other, it has already kind of infiltrated into our life, and we are using it already. On the same lines, there is something called a generative AI. Now, there's this movie called Barbie, right? And this is the negative side of AI that we should be really concerned about, right? The movie Barbie and the actor there, that actor's photograph was recreated using generative AI, which was not good. An explicit image was created and is up for sale in eBay. Gross, not right, totally wrong, illegal too, right? It is not right. And that's where generative AI can influence things. They can create things that are not there. They can create fictitious things that don't even exist. Okay, people misuse it, and there is a regulation about, I think it's got passed yesterday itself in the European Union, where they're talking about how to control the usage of AI and make it more responsible use. So they're coming up, just like a GDPR. GDPR is a privacy law in Europe. They're coming up with AI regulation as well in Europe, which will again be something that most countries will look to replicate. Right? The next one is, sorry, US election. So what is US election going to do? US is one of the most developed country, and they have access to information in internet, through data, through this. Public opinion. You just post something about US and you'll find a lot of people pouring in their thoughts and opinion. Okay, so now you'll have tons and tons of data coming in because of the US election. Following to that, there's more data coming in because Pakistan recently completed the election. India is getting into a general election next month. There are 9 European Union countries going into election later this year. So just look at the amount of data that will go in. So there's a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing is you're feeding a lot of data to this hungry, ever hungry, starving AI. Okay, AI will keep chewing all this data and come up with its own modeling and perceptions. The other thing is it may also be consuming some of the wrong information, bad news, bad updates. Okay, and create an imaginary, a fictitious thing about itself. As an example, take a look at this. There is an Google search which says that Mother Teresa battling poverty or fighting poverty. Okay, Mother Teresa fighting poverty ideally should be something like this, not this. You're sending against some kids and then taking a pose as if you're going to hit. This is AI again. AI can create some of damaging images like this, which is what? Not right. We got to train ourselves that this is not right, and there are ways to validate that as well. So you got access to internet, just go access and validate your findings. Global warming. I mean, just before the session began, me and Dolores and Amanda, we kind of spoke about global warming. Snow. What happened to snow this year? It is for real. Okay, heat in New Delhi is going up to 45, 48 degrees. Okay, unheard of. It does not go that hot. It is getting there, and you could see it yourself. So what happens if there is less snow? Okay, that means that there are animals which, like snow, is deprived of snow. That means their life is getting abnormal. They love snow. They don't have snow anymore. So life is getting abnormal. That means they will be slowly pushed to an extent where they have to adopt to the climate change. They may adopt or they may go extinct. In both the cases, it's not right. That means you're disturbing a normal course set by nature. Okay, so that's another one. War in Israel and Russia and Yemen. There's some issues there. And yesterday there was another issue where Pakistan went and attacked some of the neighbors in Afghanistan to protect their territory. What has this got to do? This is going to impact your flow of economy or your flow in your country. Israel is known to produce finest wheat. Russia for their oil. Europe is hit big time, and because of this war. Israel is not able to supply enough wheat to Europe. So Europe is now sourcing it from Asia, mostly, and Russia continues to sell oil at whatever prices they think they wanted to sell it for. Okay, these wars are dictating terms of how we live, how we pay our, for gases. In Canada, it's fine because our systems are different. But the countries who depend on Russia mostly and Ukraine, they are the ones who are getting impacted more. Yemen, there are Somali pirates which are attacking, the ships that are passing by that side. US, UK, India, and few other countries are sending all the warships there to protect these trading ships. Now, the problem is, if there is one ship shot down, that means there is a supply chain disruption. That means some company is not going to get the raw materials, which they will not be able to produce, and they'll not be able to fulfill the demand and need for another country. So you like it or not, anything that's happening in that side of the world is getting impacted here as well. We are also party to it. We are also getting impacted here. So Watch out. These are the ones, and you have to think about how can it impact me? How can this impact my life here as well? Now, during elections, you find that most politicians, right, they make a lot of these big comments, these are only to get them trending. They do a lot of research. They have a PR team who only does data research on sentiments of citizen. What makes them feel good? In India, as you know, there are talks about religions. They makes it bipolarization in terms of religious belief. So then you'll find the political leaders talking about religion there. Okay, in certain places they'll talk about economy. Canada, we see interest rates being one biggest aim. You find the politicians talk more about the interest rates, right? Because that's where we want to hear, and that's where we support. So we feel that the politicians are supporting our thought, but actually they're doing the data analysis, they're doing the data modeling, and just taking the same words and going and telling us what we want to hear. Okay, so this is something that we are feeding. We got to be very careful about thought process, how we react to situations, because this is adding up somewhere for somebody to do an analysis. Here are some general survey performed, okay, about what are the potential risks that you can think of in the year 2024 and beyond. Some of it looks very small. I will try to do a, yeah. So some of them says it's extreme weather. Not surprising, about 70% of them says that there's an extreme weather. Then you got AI generated misinformation and disinformation. So misinformation is, that means AI can create, because of the election data that's collected, okay, and there are a lot of false information going in there to influence voters, okay, playing a vote bank politics. So AI can also get into generating news that are not accurate. So that also you got to be watching out for this year. You got political polarization, vote bank splitting the vote bank so that you could get more benefits of the certain community and you can win the election. Cost of living, cyber attacks, economic downturn, disrupted supply chain, and we spoke about this because the war, the supply chain may get disrupted, or Yemen, the Somali pirates attacking can impact the supply chain as well. Accidental or international use of biological agents or the nuclear warheads, right? So these are some of the major risks that individuals generally found that probably these are the risks that are there in the coming 2024 or 2026. Some of them may be far, but some of them looks very practical as you look at the situations, elections coming up, the data churn that's happening, and so on. We move on. In beyond, when I say in beyond, we're talking about 2026. What are the ones that you should be watching out for, preparing yourself, like just 2 years from now? These will be reality, okay? Like misinformation and disinformation. What is misinformation? What is disinformation? Misinformation is that any information may not be rightly represented, but it's not done with the intention to harm somebody. That's misinformation. That means inaccurate information going out without an intention of harming. That happens because of lack of research and many other reasons, right? Disinformation is what is more harmful, and we should be watching out for that. This is the main actor for the whole of 2024 to 2026, okay? Disinformation is when it is a news or information is doctored to impact certain group of people and negatively impact them. This is where a lot of things go wrong. In India, about 4 years ago, there used to be something called mob lynching. May sound extremely stupid, but yeah, that's what happened, right? There would be a community of people who would be circulating a WhatsApp message saying that there's something wrong happening in this area. People will just go catch people and then trash them out. Okay, that is disinformation. People had to go and verify if it's actually happened or not. People did not. They just followed what the message showed and they went and did that. Totally not right. Extreme weather events, we kind of see this already. Societal polarization, it will be done by the politicians mostly to take benefit of the elections, voting banks, and so on. So those will be there. Cyber insecurity is another part where, yeah, there will be hackers. There will be people who will try to hack into information to get, your credit card information, steal information. So on, those will be there. But you have to be careful about how to protect and give information only where it's needed, not open it up for the whole world. Interstate armed conflict, we already experiencing it around, like Pakistan, Afghanistan, you got Russia and Ukraine having those, and we don't know the situation. And there are a few countries already in conflict zone. Israel is another in conflict zone, so you don't know. More countries may just join there, right? And yeah, inflation, involuntary migrations is because of the unrest in the countries. People take asylum in countries like Canada, which offers peace, which offers a good lifestyle, a peaceful living. So you'll find more people knocking at Canada's door saying that, hey, can you give us shelter? We want to come and settle down here. And Canada has been generous and inviting those citizens or those people to come and settle down here. Pollution and economic downturn. Economic downturn has been lingering on for quite some time. We say that we entered recession. Some says we did not. Some yet companies, there's jobless, and there are a lot of job loss happening in the US. Canada also, we saw some job loss happening, been announced like a couple of weeks ago. So that is a reality, but no one's really calling it out saying that it's a recession. Okay, Bank of Canada is controlling the interest rate, which is managing certain property prices or the credit, but there are certain segment who is actually getting impacted with that as well. Okay, because of high interest rates. Well, so this is all I actually had here. This is again our definition of misinformation, disinformation, as defined by Canadian Center of Cybersecurity. I just want to put the definition out there so that you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, this is pretty much I had. I will move to the last slide, which is about Q&A. So let's see what questions do we have.
All right, well, thank you. That was a wonderful presentation. We do have a few questions. So first off, we get right back to the beginning, the risk management. So should a business have a risk management strategy identified within their business plan? Is that something that you would recommend that businesses do?
Of course, goes without saying. You generally don't step out of your house without checking the weather, right?
Yeah.
You check your weather, then you get your coats, you wear the warm clothes if it's snowing outside. Business is way bigger. You're putting a lot of effort, money, resources. So you got to be putting in a risk management process. You have to have a risk management strategy. That what are the things that will keep me going? Which are the agents that can impact my performance or my delivery of goods and services to my customer? Risk management is non-negotiable for every business.
Yeah. Great advice. Great advice. Around the AI piece, do you think that AI will impact jobs negatively or positively? Or more generally, do you think AI will replace jobs or enhance the work experience? What are your thoughts on that?
See, the responses, if you look around, you ask various people have got various opinion. It's my personal opinion here, right? My opinion here is that AI is only making your life better. Okay. The challenges that I have in this part of the world is the shortage of resources. AI is helping me accomplish those without falling back on resources from other countries, which does not provide me a guarantee of service. Right? I work with startups, and startups often they say that, I got some work done in some country, be it in Vietnam, India, or again, those countries are great with the resources, but because of lack of contract or legal binding, they're not able to get the support as they expected. Right? I'm sorry. Sorry about that. But if you're able to accomplish the same stuff by doing AI, why not? You've got everything right in your screen. Will it reduce jobs? No. You know why? Yesterday itself, I read somewhere there are a few IT companies, some software companies, which have banned usage of AI. They say that if I have to go to MIT and hire smart guys only for them to come and do their work using AI, do I really need them?
Right.
Right? So no, AI be used by somebody else is fine. But for you, I'm expecting you to create the next big thing, bigger than AI. There's a reason why I'm investing on someone like you.
Mm-hmm. And I would think that, individuals, people, humans have that creative side that I don't know that AI would. I don't know.
There's multiple iterations. If I'm talking about the logo, will they get it right the first time? Probably not. You'll have to run multiple iterations, 10 times, 12 times, and then probably you'll get something which you want. And that you bring it up and you have to do some editing somewhere to get exactly the way you envision.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I don't think it'll be easy to um, say that they will replace jobs. No, the certain jobs will be more efficient because even for AI, you need to know what kind of commands you have to type in.
Right.
Right.
Right. Okay, there's another question here. Do you have any tips, techniques, strategies on how to build a risk management policy? So back to the risk management piece.
So risk management is basically you have to keep the center of your risk management should be what is valuable to you. Okay, so if you say that your business thrives on information, that information security becomes the core asset. You have to protect and harness the strength of those assets and also grow your business, keeping this asset in information asset safe. If you're talking that your patent or your intellectual property is an asset for you, right? Then you will have to build your risk management around it. Okay, so risk management, there's no straightforward definition on how you should be implementing it. You talk about ISO, you talk about ISACA, you talk about any of the big organizations which provide certification on risk management. None of these guys define risk management process for you. It's saying that you as an organization, you decide what works for you. I'm not going to feed it for you, right? You decide and then you take it up, implement it. And important piece is risk is always evolving, right? Few years ago, we did not have banking app. We have banking app. Now the risk for banks have gone up few notches. See, so banks also have to perform the risk assessment with the new launch of product, new services, new tokens, whatever system they bring in. So risk is ever evolving. As a bakery, if I'm having a bakery, if I take my business onto an online portal, I have to perform my risk assessment as well. That okay, so what pace of my customer will it be split now? How many of my customers will be doing an order online? How much space will I have here? And how to protect my intellectual property, that is the photographs, pricing, my website, those. So yeah, that risk management is entirely up to you. There's no framework prescribed. Uh, but if you think you want to do it, which you should definitely practice and implement risk management in all businesses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's a service that you could assist with if people had additional questions or needed some support.
Well, I can definitely go and talk to anybody. I can advise. I do it for free because I enjoy talking risk. Okay,
Mhm.
just book some time in the calendar or just email me, ping me. I'm happy to get on any kind of debate discussion.
Wonderful. That's great. Okay, we have one more question here. Um, okay, so it's becoming more and more difficult to get real news, the truth. Misinformation, disinformation, just continues to increase. Where should businesses look to for facts, for the real information? Are there some sources that you could recommend? Like where do you get your facts?
See, you have to know one thing. You have your news has to come from people who are experts in creating news. Okay, you talk about New York Times. They are into that business of publishing news. All right, you talk about Tribune, you talk about any other newspaper, news agencies, BBC. They will have some propaganda for sure. They will support certain concept, but the news will be true. okay, they at times mince their words to favor certain communities, which is still fine, okay, but you are still getting uncut news from them. So your source should not be a social media, because that's where most of this misinformation or disinformation happens. Blogs, again, not a very reliable one, because that's perception. People give out their opinion. Opinions are not always right. It's just their opinion, right? I would go to probably CNN. I'll go to the newspapers itself, and I'm read it from there directly. That is my source of any kind of news information.
Yeah, yeah, a trusted source makes a lot of sense, and stay away from social media for your primary news source.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Those are mostly with an agenda to drive, because social media data is again churned out, and there are a lot of companies who got penalized as well because they did not control this misinformation or disinformation.
Yeah, yeah, that's great, great. Okay, I think that's it for the questions. Thank you so much, Joydeep. That was a great presentation, a wonderful conversation. I've learned a few things, so that's wonderful. Thanks to everybody who's joined us this afternoon. Make sure to check out next month's Lunch and Learn. It'll be held on April 23rd. You'll get all of the details in your next What's Up Wednesday. Have a great afternoon, everyone. We'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.